Hi everybody, thanks for tuning in to another video. Today what we're going to be looking at here is a wireless adapter. It's a USB wireless adapter. I've purchased this to connect to a PC which is running VMware, and ultimately what I want to achieve is I have a Linux VM on there and I want to connect it to a separate wireless network. So I'm going to pass this device through to the VM through VMware, and I'm then going to configure it and see if it actually works in Ubuntu. According to the specifications, this particular adapter does support up to kernel version 5.10 of Linux, which is fantastic. So what we'll be doing is I'll install a clean version of Ubuntu 20.10, which I think is probably kernel 5.10, but we'll check. Not sure off the top of my head. And then we'll just go ahead and see what it takes to install this, install the drivers and get it working. Let's just go ahead and quickly pop it open. I haven't opened it, but it should be straightforward. So it is. So what we get out of the box is, the first thing out is a stand. So this is going to be quite useful because you've got an adapter that is fairly large in size, and then you've got two antennas on it as well. So I believe these are two 5 decibel gain antennas. And obviously while it's standing up like that, you don't want this lying on the table like that, because what's the point, right? You ultimately want this standing up like that on the stand, antennas pointing in the direction, hopefully towards your access point or in some direction that helps you get a better range out of it. Have a quick look at the antenna here. Actually the receiver here. It's quite slim in profile for the main part of it, where the actual antenna screws are. It's a bit thicker. It's got a WPS button on there as well, as you can see. WPS being Wi-Fi protected setup. So ultimately, if you want a convenient, easy to set up sort of device, and you've got a router that supports WPS, you hit the button on your router, hit the button on the device, they'll do a little handshake, exchange security information, and you'll have a secure connection between your adapter and your router without having to enter any passwords or anything like that. That's generally how WPS works. This is the latest model of the receiver that is sold by BrosTrend. I believe this is one of the best rated receivers for Linux, so hopefully it's going to be good. AC3 is the model number. They've got another one that doesn't have the antennas, which is model number AC1. I do have that one, but unfortunately it's locked in the office in my locker, so I decided to purchase a different one to try it at home. And then, as you can see, that will just stand in there. We've got a probably about 1.5 meter of USB cable there. It's a USB 3 connection that ensures high speed connectivity. And then let's just go to the packaging. Well, let's get the antennas in. We might as well get the antennas in while we're here. They are just going to screw in like that. As you can see, something like this. Right, I'm going to straighten them because it'll be a bit easier to screw them in. There you go. That's one in, and let's get the other one in as well. Cool. So once these are nice and securely in, I can hopefully point them up, and as you can see, that stand is very useful all of a sudden for propping this up and holding my antenna like that. That's how it looks on the table. And you know what? It doesn't look too bad. Pop that in the corner, out of the way. You've got a bit of cable management there under the stand, just to push, well, not much, but just to push that in and keep it in place. And I think that's going to keep the device in place. Once it's in the corner of the desk, it's not really going to be getting in the way. It's not really going to be moving much. That is going to do the job. So what we're going to do, let's have a quick look at the packaging. Interesting thing to note on these is, well, CD-ROM. Who has a CD-ROM these days? A driver on CD might be useful if you've got one, but no good to me, unfortunately. Some paperwork just showing you what it's compatible with. It does say on here for Windows, for Mac. I believe it's definitely the Linux version that I have bought, and it does say on the card there as well for Linux. And just looking at the specs, so apparently it can achieve up to 1200 megabit speed. You've got 876 megabits per second at 5 gigahertz or 300 at 2.4 gigahertz. We're going to be using it on a Wi-Fi 6 access point. So this is not an AX device. This is an AC device. You can see there it's AC1200. So we'll be getting N speeds at the max, and it should be enough for what I need it for anyway. Unfortunately, there are no USB 8X devices which will give you Wi-Fi 6 benefits, but not a big loss in this case. So there we have it, really. There's not really much else to see. Interesting thing to know is with these devices, you do get the ability to log a support ticket with them. So if you need help installing drivers or anything else, you can drop them an email and give them the order number that you ordered from Amazon, and they will respond to you. I have used it before with the old version that I had, the AC1L, and they did respond within about a day, and they were very useful. So I think we've had a look at it enough in terms of unboxing. Let's go ahead and go over to the PC. What I'll do, I'll plug this in, and then I will start recording there just to show you how to set this up in Ubuntu. We'll also just confirm the kernel versions and see if it works. Do a quick speed test to see what sort of speeds we're getting out of it. So, see you on the other side. Right, so on the computer now, I've got a fresh install of Ubuntu 20.10 installed on a VM running in VMware. And I've also got the USB wireless antenna connected to the host, which is my desktop. And I'm just going to go ahead and share it. Well, just before I do that, I'm just going to show you that there is no device connected, which is a wireless USB receiver. So what we'll do is if we go ahead and actually go to removable devices, you'll see the device here is available, the Realtek 802.11 AC network interface. So I'm just going to click connect on there and give it a second. I should hopefully now be connected to the guest, and LS USB again, hopefully to find it, and there it is in the list. So ultimately what we want to do here is first have a look and see if the driver is installed. It's not detected it itself, so not a problem. What we'll do is we'll do a quick search and we'll find where we're going to install it from. So if I just fire up the browser, and if I go to Google, and let's just search for that, and there's search, probably because loads of people are searching for this, installing on Ubuntu, and we'll click on this link here, because I think this is probably what we're going to be looking for. So we'll just go through the instructions here. Ultimately we want to do is we want to install, so what we'll have to do is make sure we've got Git installed. So let's install Git because this is a fresh install of 20.10. I won't have Git on here by default. We'll also install DKMS because we'll need that. That's a kind of module support. So let's go ahead and install that. And what we'll do is we'll pull the repository down and go ahead and try and install it and see what happens. And hopefully, after installing the driver, we will see it come up in the actual section here. And then I'll go ahead and turn off the wired connection, which is ultimately NATing from my host at the moment. And then we'll see if we can do a little speed test if it all works. So I'm just going to download. In fact, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy the whole lot because I should be able to run all the commands in one go. On them into the console. Okay, it's now actually installing the driver that we just downloaded from the Git repository. And whilst that's installing, let's have a quick read here. So there's an option to enable USB 3 support, which we definitely will do because I have got USB 3.1 support enabled in the settings for this virtual machine. So as soon as this is installed, hopefully it's not going to take too long or too much longer. we'll be able to do some tests. Now it's not showing any wireless device here at the moment. Bluetooth is coming from the host, which I don't really need. Right, so it's definitely gone ahead and installed the driver. Not seeing anything pop up just yet. Might take a minute or two, but might even take a reboot. But before we do that, let's just see if we enable USB 3 support. Maybe it will actually kick it into action. Right, there we go. So we've got everything, and there it is. So you can see as soon as we've installed and enabled the USB 3 support, we can see the wireless adapters there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and turn off my wired connection so there's no internet connection now. I'm going to go ahead and see if it's scanning for networks, which it is definitely, which is a good thing. So I'm going to connect to this. My wireless password in, and hopefully we have some success. Probably put the wrong password in. Right, great, there we go. So we have successful connection. So let's go ahead and do a speed test. I'll close this now. Naturally, there is going to be some overheads. This is running on a virtual machine on the host, so I'm not expecting that I'm going to get full bandwidth from my service provider on the VM. Let's just close that. Let the speed test run. We'll do 2 or 3 speed tests for good measure just to see how it goes. That definitely is not performing as I'd expect. The wireless signal is showing it's very low, which could possibly be because my antennas hopping around to one of the other access points in the mesh Wi-Fi system, possibly. Upload, we're getting pretty much full bandwidth on the upload because I get 50 meg up. But the signal has definitely dropped, so from a download perspective I would expect more than that. I'm just going to go ahead and try and adjust the antennas a little bit and see if we can get it picking up a stronger signal maybe. So I'm probably about 6 meters away from the nearest access point at the moment. The thing is, if this is attached to one of the access points upstairs or in the kitchen, it's going to be very hard to get it back to something local. So I'll just go ahead and run another test. I'll move the antenna around a little bit to see if we can get a better signal. Right, that's definitely not great. So let's go ahead and move the antenna around a bit. Right, getting a bit of better signal here. So I'm quite possibly attached to my kitchen access point. So I've just moved the antenna to the other side of the desk, which is actually closer to the kitchen. Let's run another speed test or two and see how that performs now. Right, so definitely better speeds. I am still expecting higher speeds than that. I would suggest that you would probably get more than this. I think my problem is I've unluckily attached to one of the access points, which is further away from me, and therefore we're seeing a massive impact of speed here. And there's not really going to be much I can do about that, to be honest, without maybe turning this off and on again. Let's just try doing that as well. Let's see if we have any luck turning the receiver on and off. So let's just, no, that can stay off. Let's turn off wireless and let's turn it on again. Maybe it will connect to a different access point. We'll do 1 or 2 more tests and then I think we'll end the video. main point here was to show you that this is running on, there we go, definitely getting better speeds now. So hopefully I'll be able to achieve around maybe around 200, 250 megabits once I position this optimally. That will be more than enough for what I need to do on the VM over a wireless signal. I'm not going to be doing anything super data intensive anyway, so this will do the job nicely. Right, so on that note, I think we'll get ready to end the video. Hopefully you found this useful, and if you are wondering whether or not this is a right receiver for you to buy, if you want to use it on Linux or not, then hopefully that's helped you to decide. This is running on Ubuntu 20.10 and the kernel version here is 5.8. So it says it supports up to 5.10 at the moment. I don't see there's any reason to believe that it won't be the case. It definitely seems to be running absolutely perfect here with minimal headache in terms of installing drivers. I'll also play around with the drivers to see if I can maybe optimize the performance of it a little bit more. Maybe that I can do some optimizations by making some changes, and maybe we'll see even more improved speeds as I do some more tests. And if you want me to test with any other drivers or configurations, let me know. If you've got any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I'll definitely read them and reply as soon as I can. And in the meantime, there you go. We're definitely getting better speeds now. Hopefully, oh wow, look at that. So we're getting close to 300 megabits there. And that's not bad considering there are going to be some overheads of running this VM. We nearly hit 300 megabits. So it's really satisfactory performance there. In any case, hopefully you found this video useful. Hopefully this helped you to make a decision on whether you buy or not to buy. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Please do not forget to hit that subscribe on the bottom right hand corner. Take care, stay safe, and all the best.